It's a proud day to be a Knight. Today we catch up with North Andover's very own NYU film student, David Fu, as he works on his thesis film. A local second grader shows us her skills in the annual spelling bee. And our North Andover Knights head to Kentucky to compete in the VEX Robotics World Championship. All this and more on this edition of The Journal. Hello everyone, and welcome to the May episode of The Journal. I'm Morgan Healy, and Ron Carpenito is off this month. On April 26th, a group of classic car enthusiasts gathered at Jimmy's Pizza in North Andover for the 4th annual El Camino Dust-Off event. We spoke with the organizer of the event, John Harris, for more information about the event and his own love for the El Camino.
Well, this is our 4th annual spring dust-off. First time most of our members bring their El Camino out of the garage for winter storage. And it gives us a chance to get reacquainted with each other, meet some new members, and plan for our big event, the El Camino Night at Lee Speedway up in New Hampshire. We're going to have that on July 10th, which also happens to be National Car Collectors Day. So it's a lot of fun, a lot of very nice people here, a lot of different backgrounds and vocations and hobbies. Everyone you meet has a different story to tell, and they're all very pleasant. I fell in love with automobiles when I was a young boy back in Philadelphia. My uncle, who was chief mechanic for United Parcel Service, had a 1957 Ford Ranchero. It was very, very fast. It was the first one of these hybrid automobiles, half car, half truck. He beat a love of automobiles into my young brains, and since that time, family, children, college tuitions, I just had a regular old daily driver. When the girls finished college, I took back the 2 cars that we provided for them, and I used all $3,500 of the proceeds to buy a rusted El Camino in Rhode Island, and the rest is history. We put some money into it over the years, got it fixed up, and finally decided I needed one with no rust. And we did a nationwide search, and I found this one over in Tewksbury, Massachusetts, that had no rust, and a previous owner had done a lot of the important work. He had painted it over, put in a new factory engine and new interior. So I'm just left with fixing up the final details and having fun with it. We have a website. It's called www.elcaminocentral.com. It's free access to people who want to learn about El Caminos, get technical information, or ask a question from somebody else out there on the internet. And if you post a question at 2:30 about your El Camino, by 3 o'clock you'll have 4 or 5 comprehensive answers from people who have owned that kind of car and done that kind of job. So we have an online community. There's about 25,000 registered members with active chapters in the Netherlands, Texas, Florida, here in New England, and even Australia. So, and then there's thousands of people all by themselves out in the Midwest in small towns. But it's an online community. We get to know each other very well and build some friendships from a distance. And here in New England, we have a very active group of members who aren't afraid to come out no matter what the weather is. From this, we're going to go out and hit the road with our cars for about an hour and a half. We'll drive through the Stevens Estate, which is quite scenic. Then we'll go over to the mills of Lawrence and see some of the incredible industrial construction of a century and a half ago. We'll stop at the Great Stone Dam, which is kind of unique here in the East Coast. And then we'll drive along the Merrimack River and stop at Haji's Ice Cream in Amesbury, which is world famous. And we'll eat so much ice cream we won't want to move afterwards. I think we've already had 25 to 30 El Caminos here. I've seen a lot of nice, familiar faces and some new people here. So altogether, it's a success no matter what the afternoon brings.
National Honor Society students have been gathering at the North Andover High School for some community service. Their service is directed at the annual blood drive held in the North Andover High Gymnasium. We caught up with the advisor of the National Honor Society, Caitlin Flanagan, to find out more about the good cause.
I'm Caitlin Flanagan. I'm the National Honor Society advisor, and I teach math here at the high school. Took over this year, so it's my first year running the blood drive and sort of running National Honor Society. We're a service organization, so part of National Honor Society is service and leadership and character, and all of those things kind of encompass. I mean, we talk about all of those things in National Honor Society and also for the blood drive. So a lot of kids are volunteering today to help out, to make it kind of a seamless process, and they're doing a great job. And I'm thankful for those guys. They're taking the weight off of me on this one, so that's a good thing.
I'm Ben Whitten. I'm a junior at North Andover High School, and I'm a member of the National Honor Society here at North Andover High School. Well, we're here to help people sign up, and then to help people escort them off the tables and into the mats and get them snacks and water and make sure they're not, fainting or anything like that.
So they're registering people, they're checking people in, handing out the necessary materials that they have to read, and they're also kind of escorting donors after they've given blood over to the canteen area, providing snacks and water, just kind of being eyes on just in case anything happens. I did donate blood this morning. I was one of the first ones through, and I'm out, and I'm now just kind of overseeing the process.
We've had a good amount of people, not a ton, but we've definitely had a good turnout.
This year we've sort of already done a lot of our services. We did a couple fundraisers. We did a leukemia fundraiser this year. The next thing on tap is a fundraiser sort of to raise funds for National Honor Society. We give a little scholarship at the end of the year to one of the members who've sort of demonstrated a lot of service and leadership and things like that. So that's really all that's on tap post-blood drive for the rest of this year. Once they're into National Honor Society, it's 15 hours per trimester, which adds up to being 45 hours over the course of the year, between September and when they graduate in May. For the seniors, there's also junior members, and they'll have the 45 hours over the course of the whole year.
I do a lot of community service throughout the year. During the winter, I I head coach a booster club basketball team that's in town for 7th and 8th graders. And I also help out a lot with the youth track program and just anything that the National Honor Society needs for volunteers, I like to sign up and help out for.
It's cool to showcase what we do here. I like it, so thank you for coming.
Definitely sounds like a great cause. Now let's turn things over to our entertainment reporters, Jen and Molly, to hear about what's coming to the stage this month.
Hello, North Andover!
Welcome back to our May edition of our Arts and Entertainment segment for the Journal. This month, as a salute to Mother's Day, we want to begin by introducing ourselves.
This here is my friend, Mother Nature.
And this is my friend, One Tough Mother. Well, let's get right into it, shall we? We start out the month on May 3rd with an amazing performance by the Merrimack Valley Philharmonic at the Rogers Center, featuring violinist Zena Schiff and her daughter, Avlana Eisenberg, who will be guest conducting the orchestra. You should see these two perform One Tough Mother. They are simply an amazing mother-daughter team. I bet Zena, the violin soloist, practices at least 30 minutes each and every day.
Oh, whoa, take it easy there, Tiger Mom. You just be sure to get your culture on May 3rd at the Rogers Center.
For tickets and more information, be sure to refer to their website at www.mvpomusic.org.
All right, next up, witness a familiar tale as old as time on April 30th through May 2nd at the North Andover Middle School. Because the North Andover Drama Guild wants you to be their guest for an upcoming production of Beauty and the Beast.
One Tough Mother. Have you noticed that these Disney productions are usually lacking in the mother department?
Oh.
I mean, there's so many tales where the mom is nowhere to be found. What's that all about?
You're right. There's Belle in this show. She didn't have no mother.
Or Aladdin's Princess Jasmine.
Or Pocahontas, or Ariel in The Little Mermaid.
Or even Bambi in my first childhood movie, Nature, of course.
Of course. And, of course, then we got Elsa and Anna from Frozen. Not a mother in sight. Well, if you don't have a mother, it's a good thing you have us to tell you what to do, isn't it? So what are you waiting for? Go right out and get your tickets, or check out their website at www.dramaguild.org.
Now, if what you want to see is a funny musical, which serves as a wish fulfillment satire on male chauvinism, this one's for you. Catch the antics from May 8th through the 10th at North Andover High School, when a housewife whose husband leaves her for his secretary, gasp, begins her own career with some other ladies at a large corporation. There are sure to be many laughs, and of course, everyone knows the famed song, "Working 9 to 5, what a way to make a living." Woo! I wish those were our only working hours as mothers, right? One tough mother.
9 to 5. You know, those are banker's hours, because a mother's job is never done.
Well, for tickets and more information, refer to their website at www.dramaguild.org.
And also, on May 8th through the 10th, be sure to catch ACT Junior's production of 13.
This is a coming-of-age story of a 13-year-old kid named Evan. He's the new kid in town, and his parents just got divorced, and his voice is changing. What more? He's making his way through the middle school nightmares we all can relate to, as nature, of course, takes its course.
Well, you know how it is. You got band, bullies, quizzes, and cute girls.
Well, with wonderful music and lots of heart, it's a show for the whole family, including your mother. For tickets and showtimes, be sure to visit their website at www.actandover.com.
All right, next, I gotta tell you about Acting Out's upcoming musical, Footloose.
Please
This
do.
one is sure to be a fantastic teen production. It's happening May 15th and 16th at the Daily Theater in Lawrence, when Ren and his mother move from Chicago to a small farming town. Ren is prepared to make the best of it in his new high school. But what he isn't prepared for are the local laws, including a ban on dancing. You know, this has got to be one of my favorite shows, Mother Nature, because it's all about breaking the rules, including...
Turn your music down, you play it too loud.
No dancing on the couch or anywhere else.
Don't bring your food in the living room, and make sure to chew your food completely.
And wash your paws before meals.
But all of this, of course, is okay if you look like...
Kevin Bacon!
Okay then, I might just cut him a little bit of slack this one time. I really like his hair.
Me too. But remember, you gotta run. Don't walk. Right out there and get your tickets now.
But remember, don't run with scissors.
No, don't do that. I should see the scar I got. It's not a good idea. But whatever you do, you gotta call and you gotta bring your mother. Just don't miss Footloose. It's at Acting Out's Daily Theater in Lawrence. For more information on tickets and showtimes, check out Acting Out's website at www.actingouttheater.com.
But wait, there's more.
There is?
Also, be sure to catch Acting Out's other fantastic show, Willy Wonka, a junior production of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory at Acting Out's Daily Theater on May 29th and the 30th.
Love that show. It is a world of chocolate and pure imagination. You know what I'm imagining there, Nature Girl? I'm imagining all the presents I'm going to get for Mother's Day.
And a lot of time to commune with nature and to be by myself.
All right, so if you didn't get it by now, we're telling you to be sure to remember your mom on May 10th. That means you, Amelia Tannett, 7th grade at NAMS, and you, Abby Tannett, 10th grade here at the high school.
And my cherubs, too, of course. They know who they are.
And congrats to all those soon-to-be graduates out there and all those celebrating their spring milestones during this very busy season. Let the holiday barbecues begin. Ha!
Well, that's all the time we have for this month. Thanks again for watching, and happy spring. Cheers to you, North Andover.
Cheers!
Cheers.
Thanks so much for that update, ladies. Also in local entertainment, poet laureate Karen Kline hosted 2 events in April to celebrate National Poetry Month. The first was a poetry jam in the high school library. Students and adults read their original poetry to a small but very enthusiastic audience, and members of the high school band were also on hand to set the mood with some of their background music. The second event was a youth poet reception and poetry reading at the Stevens Memorial Library. Over 100 guests, including students and their parents, were in attendance. Students were encouraged to read their original poems out loud at the event. All of the poems written were related in some way to the topic of peace. You can catch both of these programs in their entirety airing at CAM Ed. Merrimack College is in the midst of constructing the North Campus development, a new cluster of dorms situated right on the Andover's town line that have been a bit of a local controversy. We reached out to Student Government President Tim O'Leary to get more information on the new building set to open this fall.
So originally the facility was being built for, we told all students to live in, and that the decision would be made by the Dean of Campus Life who would live in there. But somewhere along the line things changed, and then it became an area for the honors program to live. Honors students could select to live in there. And there were other students, most students expressed concern over that, just something felt unsettling about only certain types of people being able to live in, the newest and greatest area on campus. But there were certain rules in how the honor students could pull other students in, and what sort of ratio that would look like. It didn't have to be all honor students in there. I believe it ended up being half and half. Maybe it was one, and a little bit of the other house was open for other students to select into during housing selection. I saw the original blueprints, but obviously that changed a lot. We're not doing the 4 buildings anymore, or the 5 rather. But my understanding is there will be a classroom. So that will be for the honor students, but also a common area like we see in other residence halls. As far as what is in there, I'm not particularly sure. I do believe there's a fireplace. There perhaps could be a kitchen in there as well. I don't remember, but they did a nice job on that, and it'll be a place that students definitely like. So right now it's called the North Campus Development. They don't have a name for it, just as they don't have a name for the current new hall, so I believe they'll just stick with North Campus until there's a nice generous donor that would like to have it named after them. As far as bed count, I believe it's between 170 and 190 beds. I think it's closer to 170 students will be able to live in there. So originally the plan was for 4 residence halls, or places to stay, and then so it would be 1, 2, 3, 4 in a square shape, and then in the center of that was going to be a community building, perhaps kind of like a SAC campus center, but on a much smaller scale, but the same sort of idea. But what happened was it came down to zoning issues, but it looks like they are on track to be completed by the fall. But I think that the people that live in that area and all students will make us proud, and they won't have any problems with the neighbors. There was confusion why we're building more while we're not, reinvesting in the infrastructure we have now. But now I think students are excited about it. I think people at first, they didn't like that it was over here and they would rather be over there, but they got over that, and they're excited about the new facility, and I think actually there's going to be some additional parking out there. I don't know, but I think that's what I heard. But overall, I think it's a positive, it's a positive change on campus, and I think students know that, and they love that.
Our Senior Center correspondent Lester Rugg has some announcements to make regarding staff changes at the center, along with his usual calendar of events, and of course, his helpful advice.
Hi folks, how are you again? It's a moment of reflection. We've had a tough winter, and I have to say that it's time for spring cleanup if you hadn't thought of it before. We've had some changes in our staff, and I wanted to touch base on this as well. Bonnie, who was our former receptionist, has moved up, and she's been promoted to a position with the North Andover Community Development Office, which is out at Osgood Landing. She's sorely been missed, and she's been gone for a while filling this position. Our office assistant, Nancy Steverson, she's been with us a long time, and over 18 years, and she's elected to take retirement, and she too will be sorely missed. To fill this position, we have a new individual that has been sitting in at our reception desk, and her name is Leah Morse, and a delightful person. So if you haven't met her before, when she smiles as she greets you as you come in the door there, do say hello and get to know her. I think you'll find her as charming and as delightful as I do. I find that our classes are always of interest. We have ongoing program and space available still for our one-on-one computer training, and George has some availability there. Both instructors have time. They're 45-minute appointments. Do contact the reception desk for details. Walking group. Let me tell you, we need everyone that we can out there, and if you think about it, 15 to 20 minutes, even 45 minutes is so helpful in strengthening the legs. If you felt a little bit weak somewhere or another over the winter, now is the time to improve upon this as well. Arlene, who is in charge of this program, has prompted me to make a further plea. Please come on out. We would like to see you and certainly enjoy your company. In the summer, we're going to be looking forward to walking on the common there at the same time. Been doing this for quite some time. We just like to see more people as well. On a further note, I wanted to touch on our exercise programs. A very popular one that has started in the early morning is a yoga strength training, which is on Monday from 9 and, well, it goes on to 11. And on Tuesday, we have a Tai Chi exercise, and it's from 9 to 10. Ever popular is also our late afternoon program of the Zumba classes. They're on Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday and Saturday. I have to say all of these have become very popular. In that early morning one, we have I was going to say a young man, but he's of advancing age that had become very popular with the ladies there in his ongoing exercise program. Look to see you there. Our program on Tuesday nights, that's the dinner buffet. We're going to be looking forward to one at Ashland Farms. I shouldn't say at Ashland Farms, it'll be at the center. And on the 19th, we have a program, early stage of Alzheimer's support, and this is another area of interest. I do want to mention that we will be closed on the 25th of April. It's Memorial Day. Need I say more? On that note, Lester Rugg here saying, welcome to all of you, and we look forward to serving you further through the summer as well.
Thank you, Lester. Now let's check out some of the recent local headlines published in the North Andover Citizen. The Acceleron Maternal Health and Wellness Center has partnered with Mother's Milk Bank Northeast to open the first human milk bank depot of the North Shore right here in North Andover. Gail McLaughlin of Topsfield and her baby daughter Ayla were guests of honor at the grand opening, bringing in the bank's first deposit of over 150 ounces of breast milk. If you would like to donate, the facility is located at 16 High Street, Suite 201. NYU Film School undergrad David Fu has been hard at work on his senior thesis film here in his hometown. With scenes shot at North Andover High School, Harold Parker State Forest, and Taki's Pizza, the short film follows a teen girl coping with the murder of a friend in the spring of 1992. You can check out a trailer by searching for North Shore on the fundraising site Indiegogo.com. A local second grader placed second in the 30th annual Daily Item Regional Spelling Bee, a part of the Scripps National Spelling Bee. Ashrita Gandhari of the St. Michael's School was the youngest of the top 3 spellers, lasting 34 rounds that went on for more than 3 hours. She hopes to return to the competition next year, saying, "Spelling is something I like to do." The Board of Health's new tobacco regulations are sitting easily with the town's merchants. New restrictions on tobacco products put into place this year are strict, but the 20 local establishments with a license to sell have already mostly complied, according to the health director, Susan Sawyer. The board is now considering meeting with expert consultants to discuss raising the minimum purchasing age from 18 to 21, in line with a growing number of municipalities across the state and the country. There's a new church in North Andover. Grace Point has taken over the former Knights of Columbus Bar and Function Hall on Sutton Street. The Protestant Christian Church was originally formed as an offshoot of Grace Church in Lexington 8 years ago and has been renting temporary space in the Greater Lawrence Technical School until now. After an extensive remodeling of the building known as Camelot, church leaders are now looking to tackle the landscaping of the surrounding lot. The warrant has been closed for the upcoming town meeting, and this year is shaping up to be particularly contentious due to a pending citizens petition. Celia DeSalvo, daughter of town moderator Mark DeSalvo, has successfully filed for a motion that would decrease the voting age from 18 to 16 for municipal elections. The Board of Selectmen voted 4-1 to give unfavorable recommendation, with only newcomer Phil DeCollegiero joining State Rep Diana DeZoglio in support. Celia cited the exceptionally low turnout in local elections as her reason for the proposed change, saying that the younger citizens are allowed to have a voice in government, the more likely they are to remain informed and involved as adults. The Massachusetts State House is offering no official feedback, citing no precedent. However, North Andover would not be the first town in the nation to lower its local voting age. That's all for the Citizens this month. As always, we want to thank reporter Tim McCarthy for sharing these stories with us. You can read the articles in full and get even more local news at northandover.wickedlocal.com. The North Andover Knights robotics team have been having a standout season, culminating in their participation at the 2015 VEX Robotics World Championship in Louisville, Kentucky. There, the Knights won 5 of their 10 matches, placing 45th out of 450 teams from around the globe. Before they went on the road, we checked in with veteran teammate Tej Seth to tell us about this year's game and how the program has taken off.
Before this year, we had 3 teams, and they would compete between 2 or 3 times a year. And this year, we moved into VEX, which is a different robotics league. It's basically the same principles, and so it's a little cheaper to run each team, so we've been able to expand our robotics program into 9 teams this year. Each team has its own robot. The class teams would develop their robot during the day. The after-school kids, who have been doing this since they started like 9th grade, would also work after school. When we go to competitions, we would compete individually. We'd also represent North Andover as a whole. This is going to be our 4th competition coming up. We started the season off in November, first competition, hosted here in North Andover. It was a different experience for us. It was a little different from what we're used to. Different parts, different robots. We didn't place our first competition, but we weren't very discouraged by that because we knew it was going to be our first competition. We knew that we were going to improve. Second competition, we were finalists, and so that qualified us to go to the Southern New England Championship. And that represents the top 70 or so teams from all of Southern New England. And so we qualified at that competition. We did place fairly well. We were semifinalists, and that qualified us to go to the World Championship that's coming up next week. It's the top 450 teams from across the world, and in this league there's about 10,000 teams worldwide. The games in VEX change every year. This year's game is called Skyrise. And the objective of the game is to score as many points, just like any other game, and there's 2 different scoring elements. One are the cubes, so you may have noticed. They're red and blue cubes, both for each side, and you basically fight for how many cubes you can score on posts in each match. These are an example. This is a blue cube. It's about a pound in weight, and these are the Skyrise pins. So essentially, there'll be a mount in the ground or on the floor where these pins are stacked up, and then these cubes are placed on top. Additionally, people will go for points on posts on the outside of the field and score these on top of posts as well. I guess the goal for every team is to score 7 Skyrise pins, and then the blocks on top of that, 7 or 8 blocks on top of that. So robotics, I guess, some people consider it a sport. And if you consider it a sport, I guess it's a contact sport because you are allowed to play some defense. You are allowed to bump into robots and push them around and giving them a hard time when they're scoring. The rules are limited in that area. So you can push a robot for a little bit just to give them a hard time when they're scoring, but you can't push them when they're going for these Skyrise pins. You can only push them when they're going for the cubes. Each match starts off 15 seconds for autonomous, which means that the robot is supposed to complete the challenge and score as many points as possible without a driver. It should be pre-programmed. The next minute 45 seconds are what's called the driver controlled period, and that essentially means that there is a driver driving the robot, and you score as many points as you can. Each match is played as a 2v2. There's 2 teams on red and there's 2 teams on blue, meaning that there'd be 2 robots competing against each other on either side. There's different strategies that apply to each team, and that's why it's especially fun to see that when you come to these competitions, everyone's goal is the same, but everyone's solution is very, very different. And it's especially fun for kids like us that like to do this just because like the engineering principles that are involved, and we like to build, we like to program, just our similar interests in building a community over that. It's a lot of fun. I've been interested in robotics for a very long time. I grew up with doing the Legos like most kids, interested in engineering. And once I got to high school, I was very, very interested in doing robotics. I just heard about it by a friend. And just a couple friends of mine all from the same grade, all at the 9th grade at that time, just decided to come together and see what we could do. All of us tend to be interested in doing engineering or computer science in college or in the future, but we are pretty decent at math, all of us. We enjoy, science-related topics, and that's sort of why we're here. We enjoy the engineering that comes through this. We enjoy designing and building. It's sort of our passion. And like we said, it's sort of molded from the Legos like as a kid, and it's grown to, I guess, a Legos for high school kids.
Moving on to our GovCAM update, Town Manager Andrew Maylor is back with updates on the much-anticipated commuter bus to Boston and the several ongoing building projects that are part of the Master Facilities Plan.
Hello, this is Andrew Maylor, Town Manager for the Town of North Andover, and I wanted to give you an update of several projects and initiatives happening around town. First of all, something that's been important to the Board of Selectmen, adding a transportation option from North Andover directly into Boston for commuter or people who work in downtown Boston has begun. We have a shuttle bus that'll leave Osgood Landing. It'll drive nonstop into downtown Boston, make several stops, Financial District, Haymarket, South Station, to allow commuters an option from North Andover that they haven't had in several years. This we hope to be the first step in increasing the transportation options for the residents of North Andover who may have an interest in heading toward Boston, give them an alternative way to travel. So we're really excited about that. We continue to evaluate the project and make some changes to it, and we'll continue to do that to try to find the ideal mix for transportation for residents here in North Andover. Additionally, give you an update of the Facility Master Project, what I've spoken about on several different occasions. You may have noticed the School Central Administration Building, which is at Osgood and Main Street, is nearing completion. It should be open or substantially complete in the month of May. So in the next 30 days or so, we're hoping to have a grand opening so residents would have an opportunity to come and take a look at the building. Additionally, you may also seen along 125 at Prescott Street, the steel has risen from the ground for the new Central Fire Station, a very exciting project, something that's part of the Facility Master Plan, and something that I think from a community point of view is very exciting. When that is completed, which will be late in this year, late in 2015, we'll complete the renovation of the former fire station here at Town Hall to create the first central town hall we've had in the community's history, provide a place for residents to come and do their business, and hopefully a congregation or meeting space to enhance Main Street corridor and help the businesses here. So we're really, really excited about those options. Should be noted, all of those projects are being funded without the need for an override, all funded within the budget itself. Finally, May 19th is the upcoming annual town meeting, and I think things have gone well through the budget and town meeting process to date with the Finance Committee and Selectmen and School Committee, but I encourage everybody to come to town meeting on May 19th. Thanks and have a great month.
Following this rough winter, you may have some home improvements or repairs to make that require a professional. Police Lieutenant E.J. Foulds would like to remind everyone to be on the lookout for common contractor scams to be wary of.
Hello, I'm Lieutenant E.J. Foulds of the North Andover Police Department. As you all know, this past winter was especially brutal with record-setting snowfall and record-setting cold. Along with this, a lot of damage to homes, yards, etc. What I'm here to talk to you about today is how to avoid contractor scams and to know your rights as a homeowner. Most of these contractor scams include, but aren't limited to, paving, roofing, tree work, and house painting. Be suspicious of contractors that directly solicit work. especially door to door. Nearly all home improvement repair projects are initiated by the homeowner. Next, get more than one estimate for any home improvement project. Most legitimate contractors will give estimates in close proximity to one another. Be wary of estimates that seem too good to be true, because they probably are. Contact the building inspector to see if permits are required for your project. Be suspicious of a contractor that tries to tell you otherwise when you know you need a permit. If a permit is required, most legitimate contractors are very familiar with the process, will get the permit for you, and will display the permit during the project. The building inspector may also inspect the project during different phases and at the conclusion to make sure that building standards are met. Don't be afraid to ask for references and to actually contact those references. Ask to see necessary licenses and insurance and confirm these also. Having the contractor provide a copy of this information with the estimate makes this easier. This information, along with your rights as an owner, is available at the website for the Massachusetts Office of Consumer Affairs and Business Regulations. Always get a contract specifying the type of work, the brand and grade of materials to be used, payment schedule, and proposed start and completion of the project. By regulation, any agreement with owners for work exceeding $1,000 is required to have a written contract. You can get a sample home improvement contract on the website for Consumer Affairs and Business Regulations. If you feel you're the victim of a contractor scam or attempted scam, please contact the police. Chances are you are not the only victim or potential victim, and any information provided could help others and lead to prosecution.
Town Clerk Joyce Bradshaw was pleased to swear in a new selectman at a public ceremony in Town Hall last month. Phil DeCollegiero officially replaced Selectman Bill Gordon, who chose not to run for re-election. Joyce also swore in returning Chairman Richard Valancourt, returning School Committee Chair Andrew McDevitt, and Town Moderator Mark DeSalvo. Due to scheduling conflicts, the school committee's David Turisi and the Housing Authority's Edward Capodilupo were sworn in privately. Local doctor and Board of Health member Francis McMillan Jr. was recently elected to Vice Speaker of the House of Delegates for the Massachusetts Medical Society. The House is the policy-making body for the prestigious Society of Doctors and Medical Professionals from across the state, which is the oldest in the country and is responsible for the publication of the New England Journal of Medicine. The influential position is just one of several state and nationwide posts Dr. McMillan has held in his career. Update your browser favorites. The town website has moved to a new address. Initially started as a .com in the late 90s, you can now reach the official site of North Andover, ma.gov. The new simplified URL brings North Andover into compliance with a nationwide standard that's been set for all municipal websites. The old .com address still works for now, but is set to expire in October. Now let's check out the Journal's event calendar for the month of May. It's Motorcycle Awareness Month and National Bike Month, so be sure to be careful sharing the road with your fellow cyclists. Don't forget all of the moms out there on Sunday, May 10th. And of course, Memorial Day and the unofficial kickoff to the barbecue season is Monday, May 25th. The Cystic Fibrosis Foundation is hosting a Great Strides 5K walk on Saturday, May 16th, starting at 10 a.m. from the Herman J. Youth Center on Johnson Street. Their website is fightcf.cff.org. And don't forget that registration is also ongoing for the Borderline Running Club's upcoming 5K and 10K event. You can find more information at 4thofJulyRoadRace.com. The annual Sheep Shearing Festival is Sunday, May 17th on the North Andover Town Common from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. North Andover CAM will be there along with many other local merchants and nonprofits for a day of fun, food, and of course, livestock. After the festivities, town meeting is on Tuesday, May 19th at 7 p.m. in the high school auditorium. All North Andover residents are strongly encouraged to attend and vote on pending budgets and legislation. You can review the town warrant ahead of time and get more information at northandoverma.gov. Come out for an evening of musical performance on Thursday, May 28th. The North Andover High School Spring Concert will feature performances from the Wind Ensemble, Symphonic Band, and the Scarlet and Black Singers. And don't miss the Aluminum Overcast, one of the only remaining airworthy B-17 aircrafts in the world. EAA Chapter 106 will be hosting this Fly Museum during Memorial Day weekend at the Lawrence Airport. Ground tours and flights are available. Check out 106eaachapter.org for details. If you have an event you'd like us to mention or have an idea for a segment or story, please email us at thejournal@northandovercam.org. That's all we have for you this month on The Journal. I'm Morgan Healy, and thank you so much for watching.